Good evening, I'm Sam Isenberg. Developing right now, a man is dead and police say it was a woman who shot him. Players in the locker room seem upbeat after the second of 3 OTAs completed today here from the Dallas Cowboy World Headquarters. Just looking at the water behind me from Joshua Creek, you wouldn't think this would be a dangerous area to swim in. But when you take a closer look at the water flowing into the culvert, you can see just how dangerous swimming in a low water crossing area like this can be. Missed it earlier this week. The Big 12 preseason rankings are out and UT is picked 5th. After a remarkable season, the Rattlers will have to regroup next year after making it to the regional quarterfinals. The Bulldogs making their 3rd appearance in the quarterfinals in the last 5 years. They got out to a 7-1 lead. The Texans don't let you see everything every day. Instead, they open up camp for their fans on a few select days. The question now, when? Coach Jason Garrett and the rest of the team seemed optimistic about how practice went today and look forward to next week's 3rd and final OTA. Game 1 of this best-of-3 series between the Alexander Bulldogs and the Johnson Jaguars got off to a hot start. Took all weekend to find the right spot to play this game too, but the Rattlers have fallen to Laredo Alexander by a final score of 6-2 to put an end to their season. And if the pros are gearing up this week, that means the college boys aren't far behind. Becky Hammond just wants to be seen as coach. The world now seeing just how good of a coach she can be. Summer Spurs and Summer League quarterfinals. Jonathan Simmons hits an early 3 for San Antonio. And speaking of SA, how about the local kid? Antonian grad Jonathan Holmes hits a 3 of his own for Boston. Spurs down 1 at the half. Hammond fired up the troops in the locker room. Spurs come out on a 16-0 run. Gerald Eddy hits a 3 in transition. And then how about the scoop from slow-mo? Kyle Anderson, the and one. Spurs by 8 going into the 4th. And who says there's no drama in summer ball? The Celtics tie it up with a 3 with 2.5 seconds left. Last thing anybody wants in Summer League is overtime. No worries. The Spurs' Shannon Scott with the ridiculous floater to win it. Hammond's Spurs keep on winning to the semifinals, 95-93 with the win. If you missed it earlier this week, the Big 12 preseason rankings are out and UT is picked 5th, which is about right considering what they've shown on the field. It's what they're doing off the field that has many alumni and boosters furious. And most are blaming this guy, Texas AD Steve Patterson, who in 18 months on the job has alienated plenty of fans and donors with his all-direct and some might say cold business approach. He's raised ticket prices, changed parking policies while still continuing to campaign for more money. When is enough for one of the richest athletic programs in the country? That's the question many are asking, and it's why Patterson finds himself on the hot seat. He's reportedly met 3 times this summer with UT's new president, but Patterson says his job is safe and he defends his new policies.
Look, as I said, anytime you make any change, some people are going to like it and some people aren't. Could we have done a better job of communicating some of those changes to different constituent groups? Yeah, sure. But at the end of the day, we have to make the right decision to make sure we've got the resources to support our student athletes, to make sure we can have the most positive outcomes for them and do the best that we can for the university as a whole. And that's what we're laser focused on every day.
How about this? Not all donors are anti-Patterson. He said at a lunch meeting with a booster yesterday, he got a donation to the university worth $750,000. Art Briles, head coach of Baylor, is anything but on the hot seat. He's the toast of Waco after leading Baylor to a Big 12 championship 2 years ago and a co-championship last year. Briles was the key speaker at an event in Houston this weekend, and Briles once again banging the drum for his program. The media picked Baylor to finish 2nd in the Big 12 this year behind TCU. There was a time when Baylor would have loved to have been picked number 2 in the conference. Not anymore.
Somebody mentioned it this morning. It's better than 3. You know, it's not as good as 1, but it's better than 3. So, you know, it really has no bearing. I mean, really, the conference there's so much parity. I mean, nothing surprises me, but I guess you just got to work a little hard to earn respect. You know, that's kind of what we're looking at. I mean, I don't know what it takes. Maybe you got to win it 3 times in a row to get number 1. We're going to try, and then we'll see.
Maybe the reason Baylor didn't rank number 1, they've got to find a way to replace quarterback Bryce Petty. They open the year September 4th against SMU. NFL training camp starts in 2 weeks. The Texans don't let you see everything every day. Instead, they open up camp for their fans on a few select days. The question now, when? Team officials told me yesterday we'll have the information on Monday. And we'd know we're your home for Texans preseason games. Ryan Griffin and Brandon Brooks stopped by our studio yesterday, along with the few cheerleaders, the mascot. As far as on the field goes, we're not sure what to expect from Houston this year. Defensively, they should be great. You have that guy, J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, coming back off a knee surgery that erased most of his rookie year. But what about on offense? No more Andre Johnson. No real starting quarterback. What's the identity under second-year coach Bill O'Brien?
First, we want to be a hard-nosed offense. We want to be a tough offense. And Bill O'Brien says that a lot, actually. I guess to elaborate on that, what he means is, never giving up, always working hard, always battling, always fighting, and trying to continue to win games.
Again, News 4 is your home for Texans preseason games. It starts August 15th in Houston against the 49ers the next week. Peyton Manning and the Broncos come to town, and the Texans finish off the preseason on September 3rd against those Dallas Cowboys. And no, we haven't forgot about the Cowboys preseason, far from it. We'll be making our annual trek out to Oxnard, California for training camp. Romo's healthy, Dez is signed. Camp should be drama-free, right? Probably not. It's the Cowboys we're talking about. Catch our reports from Oxnard starting July 29th. The best of the best get the Trinity treatment. Why the Be the Standard means so much to Tiger football next. Tiger Woods said he thought he could win the British. He's delusional. Missed the cut in a second straight major. That's never happened. Shot 76-75 at the British Open. Wind, not Tiger, the major story. Lengthy delays all day. They won't finish the tournament until Monday. Jordan Spieth, however, is in it, but Jordan didn't have his A game today. Misses the birdie on 17. He's 5 back. Dustin Johnson took the outright lead on 18. He's at 10 under. They'll play round 3 tomorrow. Some of the top high school football players in the nation in town this weekend for the Elite Prospect Camp at Trinity. Tiger football program runs a top-of-the-line camp complete with electronic timing equipment, which helps kids get accurate times on their running. The camp basically helps kids who want to be recruited to play college football, and it's catching on. Last year there were 42 campers. This year, 248 attending the camp.
Our team motto is be the standard. We want to try to set kind of the standard that everybody else wants to try to get to. So we're trying to get there as a football team, and I think that this needs to be a part of that. We need to set ourselves apart, show that we are serious about testing and having things accurate so we can hold everybody accountable. So everything that went into this camp is straight in line with our football philosophy, and I think hopefully these young men are seeing that.
Coach Urban and Trinity hope to turn things around from last year's 4-6 season. They start the year September 5th at Howard Payne. When Cowboys camp kicks off this week, the Cowboys think there's one thing they'll be able to count on day in and day out. That guy right there, Greg Hardy, is going to outwork all of his teammates. Hardy's off-field troubles are well known. His 10-game suspension was reduced to 4 games, and there's still a chance that Hardy will fight that in court, which might reduce the suspension even further. Former Cowboy Charles Haley recently spoke to NFL writers about his upcoming induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And when Greg Hardy's name came up, Haley paid him the ultimate compliment.
The thing that I tell him, this is a fresh start. Greg is a hell of a football player. And I watched him on it at many camps and stuff they were doing this summer. He's the hardest working guy that I've seen in a long time other than me. So I think he's going to be very impactful in this season.
Breathe easy, football fans. This is the last weekend that's football free because camp opens this week in Oxnard, California. The team reports on Tuesday. Jerry Jones' excitement of a press conference, his State of the Cowboys address, is on Wednesday, and then the first practice is Thursday. And as always, we'll be there live every night for the most complete Cowboys coverage in town. And if the pros are gearing up this week, that means the college boys aren't far behind. And what a difference a year makes at UTSA. Remember this?
It is the most exciting, and we've earned this hype. So knowing that we built this from the ground up and knowing that this is the final hurrah couldn't be more fitting.
That's our goal this year. We want to win conference and we want to go to a bowl game.
The year of the Roadrunners didn't turn out as planned. UTSA dropped 7 of its first 9 games, finished the year 4-8. Big letdown in a year that started with such high expectations. A year later, the script is flipped. The Runners lost 36 seniors. They're still trying to find a quarterback. So the question to Coach Coker, what are the expectations going into 2015?
Well, they're low, so we know which direction we have to go, and I think we can do that. But I like our football team. I like our players. We're going to have to do a good job coaching them, and I think as we press on, I think we'll have a good football team.
The Runners' schedule has been talked about since it came out. 3 tough games in non-conference. At Arizona, home games against K-State, and then at Oklahoma State. Other highlights include a road game at Southern Miss in October, and then a home game late November against Rice. And speaking of Rice, San Antonio's own David Bailiff has built quite the program in the Houston area. 3 straight winning seasons, 3 straight bowl seasons, and that's tough considering the academic requirements to get into a school like Rice. Most applicants are at the top of their class, GPAs around 4.09. That makes recruiting a challenge, but Bailiff uses his connection with high school coaches around the state to build a program filled with kids who are skilled both in the classroom and on the field.
I can tell you at Rice, 80% of the young men in the country probably aren't admissible. And you try to find those guys that you think are good academic fits because there's nowhere to hide them, and athletic fits. And you tell them what, the purpose of Rice is for the next 40 or 50 years of your life, and you explain to them how it's going to change your life.
UTSA's non-conference schedule is tough, so is the one the Owls face. With games at Texas and at Baylor, they open the year against Wagner College on September 5th. Coming up, time to sign your school up for our Kiabasa tailgate parties. Details next. The best from the WNBA in Connecticut this afternoon. All-Star weekend for the ladies. Kayla McBride from the San Antonio Stars lit it up. 18 points, 13 of which in the first half. Former Baylor star Brittany Griner throws down the dunk. Maya Moore had an all-star record 30 points in the game. The West won it 117 to 112. Don't know what you've got going on tonight, but still time to grab the family and head out to the Scorpions game. They take on Minnesota at Toyota Field. Scorpions need this win. They have just 1 win so far in the fall season, and if this helps, it's dollar night. Hot dogs, popcorn, and soft drinks, all just $1. Game starts at 7:30.
There is no better place to kick off the Kiabasa tailgate parties than right here at TMI.
Football is coming, and so are our famous Kiabasa tailgate parties. I'm proud to announce this year will mark the 16th year we've partnered with Kiabasa to bring a football experience to your school. Pretty simple. Each Friday night, starting August 28th, we bring the tailgate party to you. Free food and drinks for the kids, band, cheerleaders, ROTC. The more student groups, the better. We'll do our live 6 p.m. sportscast from your school or stadium. If you're interested, have a school official or booster club, contact me at the station. We'll be right back.
News 4 San Antonio starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Sam Isenberg. Developing right now, a man is dead and police say it was a woman who shot him. The shooting happened around 12:45 this afternoon on Dugas Drive near South Ellison on the far west side. Officers tell us both people involved are in their late 20s, early 30s, and they live together in this home. But the nature of their relationship still isn't clear. The man died at the scene while the woman was taken into custody for questioning. News 4 San Antonio's Zach Hedrick is at the scene with details on what happened.
San Antonio police say it all started as a domestic disturbance in one of the bedrooms at this home.
That disturbance became physical.
Officers say it then escalated to the point where the woman grabbed.
Officers say a child who lives in the home may have been inside during the shooting. The child was not hurt and is now in protective custody. A few weeks ago, it looked like the rain would never stop. Now, our lawns are starting to dry out, our sprinklers are working overtime, and the South Texas heat continues to build. The Edwards aquifer level has fallen 10 feet in less than a month, and now we're facing the possibility of having to go back to once-a-week water restrictions. Meteorologist Mike Hernandez explains what's causing this and what SAW's plans are.
Well, it was sure nice while it lasted. Months and months of rain ended the drought and the lakes started to fill up. We saw the lawns green up, but now all of a sudden, just in the last few weeks, just like that, we're seeing this. Brown lawns again, everybody's watering, and the aquifer is starting to go down quickly.
A man wielding a taser tried to rob a McDonald's on the west side this morning, but escaped empty-handed. This happened around 9:40 at the restaurant at West Commerce near General McMullen. Police say the suspect jumped over the counter, but then got spooked and took off without any cash. No one was hurt. A man is in critical condition after he was shot in his car. The 21-year-old man drove himself to Brady Green Hospital just before 1 this morning and told a security guard he'd been shot. The man said it happened at the intersection of West Martin and North Medina downtown. Police say the front passenger window of the man's car had been shattered, but they found no evidence at the intersection. He is now at University Hospital where he underwent surgery this morning. This man is accused of tying up and robbing a man on the far west side. 18-year-old Steven Martinez is charged with aggravated kidnapping. According to his arrest affidavit, the victim invited Martinez into his home on White Deer Lane back on July 14th. Once inside, Martinez allegedly threatened the man with a knife and tied his hands behind his back with a USB cord. The victim was also placed in a closet and beaten. Because Martinez allegedly put the victim in the closet during the commission of the robbery, he's charged with aggravated kidnapping. Up next, a man returns thousands of dollars he found in a fast food order. Why he says he now regrets doing the right thing. And the owner of a diner is getting roasted after snapping at a crying toddler in a restaurant. Why she says the parents left her no choice.